What's up, guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Elden Ring Kita Edition! Oh yeah, we're back at the Shady Castle. Shady stuff's going on here, I gotta say. Why don't I pull up YouTube comments before I start doing this? What is wrong with me? That would make way more sense is just to have it loaded so I'm not looking for the app. Lexington Show says, I've recently picked up the weapon you were using and I have such a hard time getting used to it. I can't get used to the way it arcs when you swing, and I'm really impressed now by how well you use it after struggling with it. Well, come on. You gotta keep going, struggler. You gotta keep working, struggler. I'm gonna use the lantern, or the lamp, right? What was it? Lantern right now, just to piss people off that I'm not using the lamp, because I still get comments about it, and it's like, maybe I just like using the lantern. Leave me alone. I mean, lamp. Whatever. The torch. The torch. House Marias is ruined. Just deserts for falling for that severed harpy. No surprise that guilty Cretan took the castle and our storied sword. No surprise. That guilty Cretan took the castle and our storied sword. Don't know which sword they're talking about. Was it I don't think it was the one I just picked up, the Anspar rapier. But that's cool. It's like nice to see the idea of like not everyone agreed with him, like kind of in a way aligning with the harpy. And I mean that also goes to show. I don't know why I didn't think about it before, but why there's so much poison here. You know, I mean, poison is essentially an offshoot of Scarlet Rot, as we learned earlier. So, as they're so into Scarlet Rot, or not Scarlet Rot, but, you know, Melania. Yeah, it makes sense that this would happen. So, although, you know, as Melania, I mean, this is, again, just different factions, right? Melania and, by extension, well, Melania is Marika's daughter, and, again, the M's, right? The M family, as well as Mikola. That's the son of Marika. So, you think that a lot of people would be prone to being on their side, as you'd think that would be, like, anti-blasphemy. But again, there's been so many springing factions here of people who just disagree. And we're also, I mean, there's a lot of good reason, too, for the changing of the guard and everything that is really stuff that I can't talk about too much yet, unfortunately. Just because I think it starts to lead into spoiler territory, stuff that we haven't found yet in this Let's Play. But where a lot of those factions come from really, ultimately, is pretty fascinating, I think. And yeah, I like talking about that sort of stuff. I think out here, there's some sort of ambush thing that I didn't like in the past, where I was like, oh, this is not a good thing. I'm trying to remember what exactly. I mean, there's one of those guys, but I doubt that was it. Also, I did see the ladder. Don't you worry a little bit of your noggin over it. Whoa, that was a sick attack. Wow. And yeah, that arch of this thing is kind of annoying, I agree. Because, like, a lot of times, that's why I've been having trouble with the rats. With this sword. It's because those damn rats always seem to be, like, right underneath it. Alright, I'm finally going to put on the lantern because I'm climbing this ladder and I want to see what is up. But I'm pretty sure the right way to go is if I keep on going forward at this point, so that's why I'm exploring this part of the rampart first. Ooh, Perfumer's Cookbook number 2. I was hoping for that, since you know me, I'm a big-time crafter. I craft all the time, so anytime I can get a new crafting material, mwah. Okay, anything there? Is it just... I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just not gonna risk it. Although, hey, that's cool to see. That's where the central courtyard area is. So, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool, I say. Okay. And yeah, let's get going. You know what? The way I started saying that, like, let's get going, it kind of reminded me of, like, Camp Anawana, we hold you in our hearts. But when I think about you, it makes me want to fart. I don't know how that's still stuck in my head. Shout out to Camp Salute Your Shorts. I think that's the name of the show. That every so often was on Nickelodeon that I thought was fine. I don't know if I particularly loved it. It was just fine to me. It was on, so I'd watch it. Yeah, it's just amazing to me that some of those things that still hold over that you remember from your childhood. It's like, yeah, that was all right. You know what was way better was Dinosaurs. God, I love Dinosaurs. That's such a good show. And I'm going to be showing my wife it, hopefully, when we have kids. Because I'm going to force my kids to watch it. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to most about kids, is just forcing them to partake in the entertainment that I liked, you know? It's like, let me share with you all these things I love. I know, I'm your father. It will be good for you. Make them play old video games that I love, like Mega Man 2 and 3, and be like, you are going to learn to love Mega Man 3. I'm sure they'll love Minecraft and Fortnite and all that. Actually, by then, who knows? Who knows? But, like, Smithing Stone 5. That's part of the joy, right? Just sharing the things you love. And then, like, imagine this. Like, you just have people to play board games with all the time. Unless your kids hate board games and video games. I know I was an obnoxious kid. I didn't like everything my dad liked. He loved sports. I wasn't into sports. Now, actually, I like sports a lot more. When I was a kid, I didn't. And I for whatever... I ended up more growing so into them in a way, liking them. Like, I really like football now. I loved basketball as a kid. I guess I'll say that, because I grew up in Chicago and Michael Jordan was big. So it's like, you grew up in Chicago and Michael Jordan's at his, like, peak and prime. You're going to be a fan of football. It's just, like, guaranteed. Uh-oh. This is going up. I was hoping it was going to go down. I noticed that ladder, so I want to check out that ladder before I really go here to the boss. Yeah, I was thinking, I know this isn't the biggest dungeon. It's kind of like I said, a very minor... I consider it in my brain to be a legacy dungeon. And the way that I distinguish, to me, legacy dungeons versus non-legacy dungeons is if you can warp out of them while you're in the middle of the dungeon. That's how I've kind of distinguished in my head for my own labeling of things. Oh, it's a shortcut ladder to, oh, this side of the castle. Okay, well, that gives this side of the castle a whole lot more relevance, even though you're never gonna use it because there's a Stake America. It almost feels like sometimes when I play this, there were like conflicting ideas where maybe they implemented things before implementing others. Like, I feel like that ladder was probably implemented before they decided to have a Stake America, because once you get the Stake America, that's a completely worthless shortcut. And the shortcuts in these games are something I find fascinating in the sense of how well they're typically implemented, especially when there's no warping. But when you have warping, you really, really have to take that into account for how you implement shortcuts and what ends up feeling good or mattering and not mattering. And oh my god, this guy's just like one of the bell hunters, isn't he? Bell hunters are absolute nightmares. That I haven't fought one yet, so I haven't... It's been a while since I fought a bell-bearing hunter, because I haven't fought one in my game, but Elmer acts just like a bell-bearing hunter. Maybe I would have been fine if I didn't just internally freak out, realizing that this was essentially a bell-bearing hunter. I wouldn't say I ever got good at these guys. I kind of learned their moveset to an extent, and the issue is now I've pretty much completely forgotten their moveset, so... We'll see how this goes. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fast cuts coming up of deaths. Especially if I get greedy and decide I want my ruins. Yeah, obviously he's also hard because he can do those far away strikes. So you don't really get much respite from him. Yeah, he's going to hit me there. Oh, I didn't realize that was like a double strike thing. Yeah, again, these guys are just brutal. I think the shield bash, if I remember, is one of the easier ones to get dodge from. Yeah, I thought I'd be fine there. Anyways, fast cut time. Goes brutal. Yeah! That worked out pretty well, actually. Oh. Oh, I was almost early on all of those. I'm honestly surprised that pretty much any of those worked. Yeah, I think one of the things with him is it's better to be close for him. Oh, also, that shield smash can really wreck you. Sometimes he comes up with it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, man. Elmer's brutal. Not Elmer, I mean just the bell-bearing hunters in general. Because you just don't really get ever a chance to heal with them. That I can tell that's really like a good, like this is a good healing time. Here I can cheese him a little bit. Alright, luckily I was quick there. Yeah, I haven't fought a bell-bearing hunter in this game yet, so that's interesting. Mariah's Executioner Sword is probably going to be their special sword that we were hearing about before, but we'll find out. And the Briar Greyshield. So the Executioner Sword... Where is the Executioner Sword? Mariah's Executioner Sword. Okay, so here it is. The storied sword of House Marias, the family of executioners who presided over the Shaded Castle. It's another legendary armament, so you need this for the achievement. Elmer of the Briar, the bell-bearing hunter, snatched the sword from the site of his illuming execution and furnished it with battle skills from his home of Aokide. Oh, okay, so yeah, apparently, I don't know if I realized this before. Elmer of the Briar isn't actually the Lord. He actually killed one of the Marias, it would seem, because he snatched the sword from the site of his looming execution. So it was meant to use to execute him, and he stole it as the guy was lamenting below. So that's actually pretty interesting, I think, because I didn't realize that. So, cool. Briar Greyshield. Greyshield from a foreign land, used by Elmer of the Briar. Attacks with this armament utilize the iron thorns that have been wound around its frame. Originates from Aokade, a land of proudly solitary ascetics. So again, this is kind of more so just hammering in that he is not the true lord of this castle. But he certainly seems to have taken it over. Alright. Let's do another Vigor, and I think that's going to be it for me for a while with Vigor. Also going to increase the amount I can replenish for my flask now that I've been increasing my Vigor to make sure that I'm always fully healing. So yeah, there you have Melania again, because they were, as we kept on hearing, they have been worshipping Melania basically. Even got that nice poison to prove it. I think that's everything in here, at least as far as I'm aware. So now we're going to go back to Millicent and progress her storyline. As she was asking for this prosthesis that I have now gotten, so we can go ahead and progress that. So, Millicent, I got a special surprise for you. I have a present that I'd like you to unwrap. Guess what it is? Guess what it is? You'll never guess.
Now, she's passed. Are you giving me this arm? Thank you. I am in your debt yet again, I think. If the arm serves well enough, it might be possible for me to wield a sword again.
I hope so.
If the arm serves well enough, it might be perhaps then I can aid you in battle.
I really, really do wonder what she would have done if I'd summoned her from that other battle. I kind of wish I'd done it just to see. Okay, so as far as I can tell, I think this area is wrapped up. I don't think, again, that there's anything in this downward path to the left. I guess I'll quickly check it out, because last time I kind of, like, did a little weird, like, falling down thing. But I'm pretty sure, like, this is actually just open. It's weird not to see things just scattered all over my map, but yeah, I'm going to call it finished. Oh, wait, no, there's this. Okay. Is this the one that I was being told about before? Wait, how did you just get seen? I don't think that was supposed to happen. Ash of War, Blood Blade. Okay, nice. That's it's always nice to get a blood one. I feel like they're a little more rare, and they're so useful, too. All right, I still am not far enough away from the crab to teleport. I like to teleport. I mean, at this point, I guess I don't really need to, but I'm going to anyways. So, what did I get? Oh, Ash of War. Let's check it out. The Blood Blade, I think it might have been Bloody Slash. You know what? Actually, it'd be pretty cool to... Actually, never mind. I was going to say it'd be cool to equip them, but I'm not super into using them other than for the blood status effect, which I'm not going to use for the time being, since I'm doing a strength build. And then as far as the actual attack from them goes, I'm really... You take your own HP away to do the attack, so... I'm just not going to make that choice right now to do that. I don't know if there's anything up here, but I guess that's worth checking. There's something up there, but you have to really wrap around to get there. You have to come from the other direction, so... Ooh, yo, whoa, 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 that was close. I almost just ran right off that edge. It looks like there's items down there. Now I wonder if you can drop down there. Or maybe there's a cave to get there? Oh, I bet there's a cave. Oh, I'm sure, yeah, I bet you come the other way. I'm sure this is death if you just fall, though. Let's find out, shall we? Item, I'm sure I have a rainbow stone somewhere, right? Do I have a rainbow stone somewhere? There it is. Oh my god, I can survive the drop? Okay, then I'm doing it. Ooh, wait a second. Oh, it just goes back here? Well then. Alright. Okay, hey, whatever is interesting. It's something I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know if I've been here then. I thought maybe this would be a cave or a dungeon or something like that, because it kind of looked like it would be. But now I guess not. Oh wait, what's here? Ooh, what's this? Amber Starlight. Yeah, I don't know if I ever got this. Alright, that's interesting. Let me see what this is. It's a key item. A whole lot of little baby octopuses around it, meaning there's a mommy octopus somewhere. But, alright, Amber Starlight. What is it? An ephemeral sliver that gives off a pale amber glow, what remains of a passing flash of starlight. If the stars command our fates, then amber-hued stars must command the fates of the gods. Such is the belief that inspired the use of these shards to prepare a most special draught. It cannot be consumed by mere humans. Sounds like something Celavis would want, right? If it's like for a special draught. Which I really should progress that storyline. Speaking of which. But yeah, I don't know. Huh. Well, that's cool. I don't think I ever found that, so amazing. I guess they give you a lot of like little hints by all these items around here for you to pick up. And I'll just go around. No need to fast travel. That way you and we get a longer time to hang out, right? And that's really the dream. Living it. Again, you know, I'm so tempted to go in there just to get the golden season and show something off. You know what? You know what? Nah. Actually, it wasn't because I got shot. I was just like thinking about if I really wanted to or not. And I decided no, I did not really want to. Oh boy, that did not go as I was planning. Okay. This is really going poorly, I have to say. In fact, I didn't mean to jump off, but it was going poorly enough that it warranted it, I guess. Old Fang. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Alright, finally. We're going to go fight an omen. Did I explore here before? I probably did. Wow, omens are really trivialized by being on torrent. I think I found some, probably found some chests up here, but I don't know. Oh well, alright. Finally, I'm going to really explore Altus Plateau. So that means going over this side. We're going to look at some windmills, I think. It'll be a grand old time. And then progress some Corn questline stuff. It's nice. Nice stuff. I keep on looking over here like, what are there other things in Altus Plateau I might have missed? I really feel like in my personal game I didn't explore Altus Plateau well enough. And I think that's part of why that I'm just like, ooh, what else might there be? Because I think that's when I started to feel like super stressed timing-wise with work. So it's kind of nice to have this second chance to look over everything. All right, finger reader, what up?
You, please, I can read them. Your fingers.
Okay.
Oh, bless you. To the east, ruins of gold. To the west, the serpent's sacrilege.
So the ruins of Lanedell or
Wherever the path
Rykard.
leads, so shall you follow. Wherever the path leads, only more sorrow. 'Tis a curse. A curse. The curse of Queen Marika.
How dare you, Queen Marika? How dare you leave us with this curse? The curse! The curse!
Are you here as a customer?
I am here as a customer, actually. I would want to look at Gravelstone, actually. Such compound stones found in the lands once beset by ancient dragons are said to be the scales of those very beasts. Okay. I'm interested in it, since we keep hearing about it. Anything interesting here? Emblazoned with the Yellow Scorpion, warning of surprise attacks and sudden strikes. Cross Tree Tower Shield. An iron gray shield large enough to cover the entire body, emblazoned with an old interleaving tree. Gray shields boast high damage negation and guard capacity, making enemy attacks easy to repel. Tree Surcoat. The tree insignia is emblazoned on the front, depicts the Erd Tree, and is a design beloved throughout the lands between. And then notes on those guys that I don't care about.
Oh, I'm afraid of.
Hey, I bought something from you. Why are you apologizing? What are you doing? No need to apologize. Alright, I guess I could drop down this way too. But I'm not going to yet. I want to see what's back here, because again, it's one of those things where I'm like, did I look at this and explore it on my own? Did I not? It's a lump of flesh. And, okay, I guess that's about it. Yeah, so I could go ahead and drop down to the shaded area down here, which is something I definitely will be doing, but first I'm going to go ahead and warp across for a number of reasons that you shall see. This just takes you straight across the bridge, so this is a nice warp that I meant to mark on my map that I forgot to. That maybe I'll do right now, because I like marking where all the warps are. So actually, let me go back and do that. Anyways, I can also show that literally I'm just right across the bridge. So here we go. It's probably right about there. Bam, now there's a warp. Okay. And let's go across and see who this guy is who's staring up at the Erd Tree. Who could it be? Oh my god. Gold Mask? In the flesh? What imparting wisdom do you have to say to us? Fascinating. I feel like I learned a lot in this moment. Truly, a wise master and a wise sage Gold Mask is. But now that we found Gold Mask, we can go ahead and go back to... You know what, might as well just do it now. We're going to go back to Corrin and let him know that we found Gold Mask. And Corrin's going to be so excited, man. So excited. You're welcome, brother Corrin. You're welcome. I do what I can. Always so satisfying. Alright, Corrin. Wait, did I not kill all of them? Okay, I did.
Ah, well then.
So, hey, guess what? I found out about Gold Mask's location.
Do you sport with me?
From your description, it can be no other than the Gold Mask himself. Of course, I knew he would be close by. Bless the Golden Order and its benevolent rays. And to you too, my sincerest thanks.
All right,
May the Golden
cool.
Order...
So now he knows where Gold Mask is.
It is entirely...
Yeah, so he's just gonna head over to Gold Mask, which means that now I can go ahead and go back here, use my warp, and also go back to Gold Mask so we can continue the quest line for them. And make sure I don't miss it, since I did in my main game. That's pretty important to me. We gotta make all of the ending options available. Know what I'm saying? Every single one. Statue here is this? Oh, that, okay. Who fell off? Who fell down? Alright, Gold Mask, I found you a student. Still as wise as ever, I see.
Ah, we meet yet again. Thanks to you, I have become acquainted with the noble Gold Mask himself, and taken my place by his side, as you can see. Have no fear. I will still teach you incantations as before, though we must do so quietly, such that we not disturb the Great Master's cogitation.
Can you tell me a little bit about this guy? Are you really talking to him? Because he won't say anything to me.
The Master is always deep in contemplation, while I frantically attempt to record his wisdom, the movement of his finger. And though I am yet to comprehend even the daintiest morsel of his wisdom, I know that this is my life's calling. The Golden Order has bestowed me, talentless as I am, the great duty of documentarian. May the
Okay.
Golden Order shine.
That's all he's got for us.
Indeed, may the Golden...
As far as I'm aware, I don't think he'll have anything else to say, but they do eventually move. By the way, if you attack Gold Mask, he'll just disappear, and then he comes right back. You can't kill him. Something to note, I guess, that I discovered on my own before I hadn't gotten Corin to move, and I didn't know where he was, so I was just trying to figure out what the hell was going on with Gold Mask, and eventually I was like, okay, maybe if I attack him, something will happen. And he just kind of disappeared. This guy actually has a drop, so he's worth taking out for that. The Haima Glintstone Crown, Battle Mage Robe. So Haima and Battle Mage. Let's take a look. One of the Glintstone Crowns bestowed upon Rea Lucaria scholars whose pursuits were deemed worthy. Scholars of the Haima Conspectus sought the power to quell conflict, and to this end studied the sorceries of cannon fire and the gavel. I guess that makes sense for them being over here, right? Because there's a lot of fire and lava by Mount Gelmir. Let's look at the Battle Mage outfit. Robe worn by scholars of the Rea Lucaria Academy. Scholar tattered from being worn on the battlefield. Whenever war broke out and the Academy sealed its gates, only Haima's scholars dared venture outside. Seclusion is no way to foster discovery. It is only a convenient form of escape. Actually, I think that's, I agree with that sentiment. I know they have other stuff, Battle Mage stuff, but I have to assume it doesn't say anything interesting. Yeah. Tattered from being worn on the battlefield. Fascinating. Fascinating stuff. Giant rats, though. Aw, rats! Wait. I actually didn't realize I was going to a windmill. I thought I was, like, going to the side of one. This counts as a pasture? Okay. So, yeah, for a little bit of the Altus Plateau, that's all we're going to get are these, like, little windmills in this area. But the center area has a whole bunch going on there. And one of the windmills is pretty important. Oh, giant rat, ashes, but actually a giant rat. I knew there was something good there. I just forgot about the giant rat who was guarding it. So, cool. Giant rat ashes. Let's take a look. After I kill more rats. Oh, that didn't work. Ooh. Alright. Giant rat ashes. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell. The rat spirits appear at a distance from the summoner, swarming upon their victim to start the fight. Even as spirits, these vermin seem to multiply endlessly. Enhancing these ashes can increase their numbers. That's pretty awesome. That's like the description of it. They just seem to multiply endlessly, damn it. It's fine. I didn't actually realize I'd like gone up here. Oh, I guess you just start up because you're at that. That's right. And then you work your way back down. Cool. I actually ended up starting at a good point to progress from and explore from. Just kind of naturally went that way. Now I can start working my way. Wait. I think this is just an Erdtree gazing flower or whatever over here, but it just stood out to me. Tarnished golden sunflower. Sure, same thing. I don't think there's anything over there. No. No! Again, not really worth killing every single field mob in the game. But we're gonna go to this, the Happy Dancers. Always stood out to me. It just cracks me up. The East Windmill Pasture. None of their eyes are gold, right? So it's not like they're inflicted with madness, even though it seems like they are mad, as they're just here dancing away. But yeah, I always just thought it was kind of funny. Also, these guys will explode on you if you give them the chance. Hey, wait a second. You guys don't like me taking out your fire? Twin Knight Sword, Navy Hood, Noble set. Twin Knight Sword. Crap, I should have picked that up later. Twin Knight Sword, Navy Hood. Twin Knight Sword, Navy Hood. Twin Knight Sword, Navy Hood, Noble set. Okay. Let's find the Twinned Knight Sword first. Twinned Knight Sword. An attractive twin blade of fine make that prizes the chivalric way. Can be wielded with a single hand, but its true strength is unlocked with dual-handed spinning attacks. Not too much on that one. What about the Navy Hood? It looks just like the Crimson one, but Navy. And actually, this one increases vigor, this one increases mind. A hooded cloak of deep navy, worn by expatriated royalty. Same as Crimson one, which is what Roderica was wearing. Such cloaks were gifted to those who departed on missions to faraway lands, from which they never would return. But what choice did they have, having seen the guidance of grace? Oh, okay. So this one says, in other words, the gift of the cloak made it easier for undesirables to be on their way. But Roderica never once saw the guidance of grace. So these ones at least supposedly saw the guidance of grace who were Navy. Roderica did not. So she probably was a noble then. Noble's traveling garb. I think this is what I was picking up. Traveling attire fashioned from metallic white silk thread, worn by expatriated royalty. A gift of such rare beauty, a royal wouldn't disagree their illustrious heritage even if found dead, in a ditch, in the middle of nowhere, while wearing such splendid raiment. Or, oh, sorry, royal wouldn't disgrace their illustrious heritage. Yeah, I mean, that's what you are. In these medieval worlds, it's all about your heritage and your name and your title. I just watched House of Gucci recently, and it just kind of reminds me of the way Lady Gaga's character meets the Gucci. He like introduces himself as so and so Gucci. He like throws it out there that that's his name. So it's like, at that point, what would you expect except for potentially getting a gold digger, I guess? If you're like throwing that out there. I mean, I'm not saying like someone might hear that and not care, but like it's just like you're going to naturally attract people who do care about that sort of thing. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll just keep on going up along this path. I don't know what I was doing. I guess I was trying to see what was over here. But we'll do that later, I suppose. Not going along the path. I'm breaking all the rules. I got a village windmill pasture to find. That's got a demi-human, keeping everybody in order, it looks like. Keeping everybody in line over here, eh? Well, I'm not about that. Guess what, guys? You're free. Oh, maybe not quite yet. You're almost free. You're free. They're probably gonna want to fight me anyways. Guys, you're free. Celebrate. I killed the demi-humans who were enslaving you. Get up. Get up. Raw meat dumpling. Very nice. Okay. There's gotta be something in this pasture. I doubt it's just for a raw meat dumpling. Just to be an item on the map or point of interest. But, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay. So far, it does seem like it's nothing. I mean, that's fine. I'm just a little surprised. It just makes me feel like I'm missing something, that there's something I don't know about here, like a hidden cellar or something like that. You know. Yeah, no. Hey, more windmills up there. I just want to see all of the windmills. I'm a windmill freak. I'm a windmill fanatic. Love me some windmills. So I must go this way now. I must, to look at the windmills. Oh, hey. Before I do, there's more things that I need to do. Like looking at this guy. Give me your secrets inside you. Protection of the Erd Tree. That one sounds like an interesting one, actually. Okay, let's look at it. Is it a spirit ash or an incantation? It's an incantation. A superior incantation of Erd Tree worship. Hold to continue bringing and delay activation. Increase damage negation for all affinities except physical. In the beginning, everything was in opposition to the Erd Tree, but through countless victories in war, it became the embodiment of order. Of course! Of course! This is what I've been saying with the Church America. This is what I've been saying. The Erd Tree, and what we've talked about, right? So, in the beginning, everything was in opposition, and eventually became the source of order. So, it was like an outside force that came in, basically, that was like, I am now going to be the ruler, and it had to win over victories. And the Churches of America start and expand out. So, you know, like the one that we found earlier that's all the way at the bottom, way away from the Erd Tree. Like, is the... Like, we have the 4th Church America, right? And then as we get closer, we get the 3rd Church America, and then 2nd Church America. And, like, as you get closer and closer to where it starts, which is, like, this Erd Tree worship. But it didn't start off that way, so... They had to, like, impose it on others, essentially, to worship them. And so it's not like they're necessarily in the right. It's just considered to be what's right, because that's the rule of law in the land right now, or who's been in the rule of law for a while. And as we've been finding out, too, there's, like, others who might have ruled before that there were wars against to annex that rule and get that rule of order. So, yeah, there's a good amount of that stuff going on. So, again, it really does make it so it's, like, who's really in the right, and it makes things a lot more gray in a sense of, like, you know, Rykard is considered blasphemous, as an example, because he's going against the rule of order in the Golden Order. That's why he's blasphemous. Rhea Lucaria, blasphemous because they were worshipping the moon, not the Erd Tree. Rykard not worshipping the moon, but kind of doing his own thing, even though he is related to Ranni and Rennala. But again, you know, it's just that idea that, like, anything that's not Erd Tree is blasphemous, and they came in, and it's not necessarily... It's just blasphemous specifically to the believers of the Erd Tree, or that religion who believes in the Erd Tree. And it really is a religion, too. It's presented that way, with incantations and prayer books and all that. Similar to Gwyn in the First Fire in a lot of ways, I suppose you could say. But maybe even more so, I think, here, as, like... Gwyn, I feel like, is more like the to me, Gwyn is like the origin of the world type of god. He feels more like a Greek god to me. Whereas I feel like in this game, it's more like these separate factions, and it feels more Game of Thronesy to me in a way, which would make sense as this George R.R. Martin came in. And I know that's almost a cheap example, but just in the sense of like, while there are gods and beings and stuff like that in this game, I don't necessarily feel like... I feel like the Erdtree comes across more as like this general religion and type of belief, whereas Gwyn was kind of like, well, that basically is like the god of the world in a way, to me. I don't know, it's just my little interpretations, I guess, that I can evolve. Celebrant's Skull. But yeah, again, we're going to just keep on finding more and more lore stuff to talk about, which is nice as we keep on progressing. And with like interesting things like that, where we can really start expounding and expanding upon things. And the nice thing too is I'm really starting to deep dive into lore on my own, so hopefully I can have better discussions with you guys and really bounce off of you all. Large bludgeon decorated with flowers and many colored fabrics. Ceremonial tool used by dancers during the festivities of Dominula Windmill Village. The striking end is a skull too large in size to be human, grants trace amounts of runes on landing attacks. So, alright, something they used for their dancing in Dominula. Which, yeah, cool, I got that. Which we're actually going to fully explore here. And I think Millicent's now left, by the way, her spot. No, wait, what's she still doing there? I thought she would have left by now. That's weird. Maybe I should talk to her again? I'll do it in a moment. Okay, so that guy right there, or girl, I don't know, whoever was just wielding one of those things that we were just learning about. The dancing village. I love it so much. I got some nice footage of this while I was playing my main game just because it was awesome. Nice little touch. Rune Arc. I know there's some nice little things you can find around here too, so it is worth exploring and seeing what all you can find in this village. And this is also a village that you have to complete and finish if you want to progress Millicent's quest line, which is why I was looking at where Millicent is. Because I thought she would still be... I thought she would have moved at this point, but I was a little surprised she hasn't. That's all. But it might be for finishing this village. You know, I really never did fully discover what's going on here and why they're dancing, if I'm being honest. So hopefully... I mean, if you guys have thoughts on it, that's cool. Or hopefully I'll, like, find some things that help explain what's going on with Dominula and these, like, dancing people. Holy proof dry liver. So, okay. I mean, that actually works. I mean, later on in this area, there's an interesting thing that we're going to find, I suppose, which I'm definitely going to be able to do for this Let's Play episode, but, which is good, because I want to talk about it. Wait, is there anything in that well? No. Okay. It's kind of funny that they just, like, close up the wells that there's nothing in. You can't even fall in them. I mean, I guess I don't mind. It's just kind of funny to me. All right, Stormhawk Feather. I think this is actually one of the ones I was thinking of that you look for. Not that... Because last time I found it, I probably did this little wrap around here. Oh, yeah, there's that up there. So much, man. So much. Another giant space. Lightning Grease. Are you going to attack me? Yeah. It looked like someone was going to ambush. You just look like an ambusher to me. Anyways, let's check out this top portion, eh? Aye. Exalted Flesh. Yo! I thought I was gonna fall off and die. I was really afraid there that that was gonna be the end. The end of Kita forever. It would have been too embarrassing. I wouldn't have been able to go on. Or at least Kita wouldn't. I mean, I'd be fine. Kita wouldn't have been too embarrassed. We've had to start a new game without Kita. Can you imagine that? I can't. A Let's Play of these games without Kita. It's like a sandwich without peanut butter. I don't know. It's like a pizza without marinara sauce. There, that's a better analogy. Then again, I'm actually one of the few people who does like barbecue chicken pizza. And I'm from Chicago, you know. I'm from the place where people are snobby about pizza, and I don't know, whatever. I like barbecue chicken pizza. Leave me alone. Oh, shit. Millicent. Oh, okay. All right, all right. So I was wondering if you'd be able to summon her for this boss fight. And you can, so that's cool. The Godskin Apostle. Wait, I can use my horse for this fight? Yeah, this fight, he's pretty tough. I have to say, he is pretty damn tough. But you really want to learn this moveset. And I'm not saying I have his moveset learned because it's been a while since I played, but there are a couple ways that you can kind of like, in a sense, like cheese him in a way early on. I wouldn't say cheese him, but like whenever he does that fireball, that's a really good, easy attack to dodge through that you know you'll have time to either heal or strike him with. But yeah, these guys are, I don't know, I have trouble with them. I find them kind of brutal. And yeah, it'd be nice if you did your fireball, bro. You're not going to, eh? Oh, okay, I didn't know that was going to be a 2-time strike. Fireball, please? Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. He's about to explode, and now he's going to phase 2. Which actually... Oh, fuck. I was going to say, actually, sometimes I find phase 2 a little bit easier. Because there are moves that you can punish him a lot during. Like that move that he just did that I screwed up. That's a good one for punishing him that I screwed up. But because he does those little windy attacks where he goes far away, it makes it harder if you're further away from him because he has even more ways to hit you, which typically he's going to use that fireball, typically. You see, like, every time I'm doing it, he's using the fireball. But again, like, that windy attack, if you get behind him, it is a punishment factory. I'm just saying. And he just almost took me out. That was cool. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, wait. I didn't know that was going to be the AoE. Ah, no! I was so close to beating him on my first try. Manuel Chaparro asking you, so I want to know your opinion about this. Would it be okay if an NPC took notes for you about what other NPCs had said or where they had been in your playthrough? Would that diminish the game's value? No, I think it just depends, like anything, on the way it's done. I don't know, when I was talking about earlier, I know I was saying that I wasn't sure how I felt about them appearing on the map, because it kind of like just felt normal in a way, that you wouldn't know where they are, and you kind of discover them, and it's fun for that sense of discovery. Although from like a video game feel, where it's like, I want to get everything, obviously it can be annoying, but it's just more for that like gamey feel of like, or not gamey feel, sorry, just to me it's just kind of fun feel, I guess, of being like, ooh, I wonder what's gonna be over here, and I'm discovering things, and maybe I'll miss something. But I'm not like opposed to ways that make sense in game at all, to make it so like it's easier to find these things. And if it made sense, like I'm like, you know, honestly, it's fine with me. So I hope I'm not coming across too anti-video game mechanic stuff. So. Oh no, don't die again to it, don't die again, I got stuck. Boo! Boo, that's supposed to be one of the easy ones and I got screwed. Oh my god. Ah! Jesus Christ. I almost died to him at exactly the same point of his health. Man, the fact that I killed him in 2 tries shows me that even though it's been a while since I played, I guess I have gotten a lot better. I've fought enough of these guys to know their mechanics a little bit better. Okay, you might have noticed that his cape, they're called the Godskin Nobles because literally their capes are the skins of gods on them. It's like pulled off skin. Godskin Peeler is their weapon. Scouring Black Flame. So let's take a look at this stuff. Godskin Peeler and Scouring Black Flame. Unique twin blade wielded by Godskin Apostles, characterized by its disturbing design. One end features a sickle for slicing attacks, while the other boasts a winding spike for boring into flesh. Much skill is required to wield this weapon due to its asymmetric nature. I think it should be asymmetrical, but... Okay, so Black Flame Tornado is a special attack, so let's go ahead and look at some of that Black Flame stuff that I just got, which I was going the wrong way for. Scouring Black Flame, I think, is the one that I just got. I'm just double-checking. Yeah. Okay. A Black Flame incantation of the Godskin Apostles. Sweeps a wide area before the caster with Black Flame. The Black Flame could once slay gods, but when Malekith sealed destined death, the true power of the Black Flame was lost. I don't think we've heard much about Malekith yet, and we've heard about death, right? And the death rune and all that sort of thing. So we're finding out Malekith sealed destined death, so there was a death thing, and the true power of the Black Flame was lost, so perhaps before this death was sealed away, gods could die, and that's what these Godskin apostles did. Or at least that's what they are doing now. But Black Flame was something that was really powerful against them, it sounds like, for slaying and killing gods. But sealing away death kind of helped that out. So, you know, it's, again, more stuff that's relevant with the death rune and all that we've been figuring out and talking about and all that. Okay, let's add another strength. Yes. And now Millicent has moved. And we've progressed her storyline. So you had to kill that Godskin Apostle to progress her storyline.
Ah, we meet yet again. The arm you gave me truly is a thing of wonder. It feels just like my own. Even handling a sword. Perhaps it is foolish to say this to you of all people, but I am sure of my skill with the sword. Thus, I would have you call upon me in battle, should you ever have the need.
I am true of her skill with the sword too. I believe in it.
I would have you call upon me in battle, should you ever have the need. It is the only way that I can express my thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done it before, but I didn't want to. I don't know. I'm a solo guy, Millicent. I'm happy to help you out, but I like tackling these things alone until I get to Melania. I'm sure Melania I won't be able to do alone. There are a couple battles. There are 3 total battles in the game I did with the Mimic tier. For those of you guys who know the Mimic tier, which I'll eventually find and talk about. One of them was the final boss of the game, partially just because it was a time thing for me, where I actually wanted to figure out how to beat it alone, or be able to. I was able to beat the first phase, but the second phase, that's where I was like, okay, I just need to use the Mimic tier to get through this. Another one was one of the gank fights, essentially, which I can talk about later on. And the other one was Melania, and Melania is one where I don't know if I have the skill to beat her without it. Or I'm sure I will if I played enough, but it's just the patience game, really, that I don't know if I have, or I just don't know if I have the time for. It'd be cool. I'd like to be able to beat Melania and every boss, honestly, frankly, without it. It could just be me also using different weapon choices. Like this, I don't think is the smartest weapon choice. But yeah, anyways, I guess I just figured I'd point that out. I mean, I don't know what does it matter, right? It's like whatever makes the game fun for you. I don't really care if people use or don't use things like that. I just typically like playing these games solo. It's just more fun for me, personally, to feel like I conquered these challenges on my own. There it is. I knew there was something over here. Really? Gold Firefly? That's it? I feel like there's got to be something more. Let me anger you guys and see if you dancing people have anything. Stop dancing. Give me your stuff. No. I guess not. That's okay, then. That is okay. Okay, so I don't have too much time, but I think what I'm going to do is start heading this way just to get that stuff, because it's stuff that I can do pretty quickly. I don't think there's any dungeons over that way, so that's why I can at least do that this Let's Play. And then the next Let's Play, I'm probably going to go ahead and tackle all the stuff in here, I think. That would probably make the most sense. And at this point, I think I've progressed all the storylines in Altus Plateau that I can so far, that are related to Altus Plateau, which is a good thing. But yeah, oh, okay, so what I wanted to do actually is I'm trying to go below here. I meant to go underneath and check out this underside of the bridge, as there are things to find here. So, for one, there's a Site of Grace, which I should have gotten earlier as it would have been a little faster, but, you know, I didn't. I forgot about it. But for two, there's actually some items around here as well. One of them's a cloak that relates to Gold Mask that I think is over to the left there. I actually forgot about this, so this is interesting to me. Just because, as I said, I totally forgot that this existed. Alright, this is going pretty well since Pumpkin has decided not to do anything for whatever reason. Pumpkin has like, I'll just wait to see what happens before I get involved. He doesn't want to get involved in a fight he doesn't have to, I guess. Sorry, Pumpkinhead. I know you're being nice and peaceful, but I just want to make sure no one came back and attacked me. Sanctuary Stone, Earth Tree Surcoat, Smithing Stone 5. Another comment I'll bring up while I'm doing this. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. The torch guys always take me out. From Yuki Desato. I wonder how effective the discovery stat is. I'm trying to collect every single, and even with item, and even with over 200 discovery. Took 1 hour to obtain the perfumer robe that I got in like 25 minutes. So yeah, that's annoying. It makes a good question. I've wondered about that too. Like I never put in discovery because while I like every item in the game, I don't know. I feel like I've always been fine with just grinding the normal way, I guess. And I've always just felt like it would work. If I never felt the need for it, but that's weird that it's like, it seems so negligible in a way. Alright, I feel bad taking out like this other troll who's just all sad now, but it has to be done, man. He drops too many ruins. I mean, it's just, so I feel like I've completed everything. That's why it's not, I don't need runes. Me? Runes? Me need it? No way. No way. Alright, what was in this carriage now? Gimme. Great stars. Are they that great? I mean, I'm just asking it. Like, it's just a general question. There it is. Huge bludgeon with 3 stars at the striking end. Though primarily a striking weapon, the stars spike cause blood loss, or spikes cause blood loss. Bloodstained star is an ill omen, a fact not lost upon those against whom this weapon is brought to bear. Landing attack slightly restores HP. Bloodstained star is an ill omen is something that I think we're gonna hear more about in a sense of like stars and ill omens and what stars are good and all that. And they have good reason for thinking that. They have a really good reason for deciding like some are good and some are bad. I don't know if like, and I can see why a bloodstained one would be bad too. Again though, I feel like it's a little spoiler territory if I talk about why right now, I think. Even though I know some of you guys at this point are way past where I'm at because of my break and everything like that. But I still don't want to get too spoiler with stuff and how I'm doing things just in case. So, yeah. I'm going to keep on doing things kind of the way I've been doing it in that sense. Okay, eventually I'm going to jump back up here that way. What I am trying to find is, I know that there's like some item related to Gold Mask around here, up here. Is that on top, that ruin? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'll come back to it. First things first though, let's explore this drop-off. Because it might be on one of these things, that what I was thinking of. Yeah, I think this is what I was thinking of. Yeah, Radiant Gold Mask. So this was another thing when I couldn't find Corrin I was trying to do, was I equipped the Radiant Gold Mask and was trying to do poses next to him and stuff like that. Like, come on! Something has to work, right? I'm just making sure there's nobody around me while I look at it. Radiant Gold Mask. A mask designed to resemble a blazing golden halo, created and left behind by Lord Goldmask, a staunch pursuer of Gold Order fundamentalism. Therefore, it strengthens Golden Order incantations. Its striking design represents both the brilliant inspiration that once shone upon him and the vision of a ring that he will surely find at the end of his pursuit. To you who seek it to shine as I do, wear it well. And that's not entirely untrue, the ring thing that he's seeking to find. Yeah, it's actually not really... Yeah, I guess that's kind of like an indicator of things to come if you know what it's referring to, which now I do. I don't think I would have known what it was referring to off the get-go. Also, these guys can be pretty dangerous. Similar to Basilisk, they basically spew death at you. So, they can be easy and hard. It's just the fact that, like, if they get you with a nice cloud of death, it's just game over. But they're pretty easy to avoid, so... Or they can be, at least. So that's what I'm saying, like, it can be both. They can be both easy and hard. Alright, I'm just gonna head this way. And I didn't want to load anything up because I'd already killed some guys. I actually don't know what's over here in this graveyard, so... Hey, again, new stuff for me. Potentially. Doesn't look like there's going to be anything here other than people who want to shoot down at you. Yeah, okay, I'm not really seeing anything interesting here. But, hey, alright, at least it's explored. At least I can say I took a look. If there's anything I missed, just let me know, but I don't think so. I don't think so. It's nice how there's, like, so much in every nook and cranny of this game that, in a sense of, like, even while not everything has something, it does make exploration feel a lot more worthwhile when you know that there's a good possibility that something actually might be there. Not that a game needs that. I mean, I love Breath of the Wild, and a lot of that exploration, there's nothing worthwhile, honestly. But it's still a nice touch. Or you might find, like, a field boss or something like that, right? There still are some patterns that emerge in this game that I notice, and I'm sure anyone would notice. Like, you know, you find a tunnel. You're going to find a tunnel. It's going to have... You're going to find a tunnel. It's going to have stones in it, or smithing stones in it, right? You're probably going to find a catacomb. A catacomb's going to look like this. You're going to find this. You know, you're going to see all that stuff in those patterns, but I don't think it's so egregious in this game. It's definitely not like an Ubisoft checkbox type of thing, which is nice. All right, some gravel stone there. I guess it's just interesting that they made a grave out of it in a thing. I don't know how useful gravel stone really is for crafting, as I don't craft very much, like almost ever. But hey, it's from a lore perspective, gravel stone is pretty interesting, as it's like basically Dragon's old scales in a way. Rife blood ruins. Oh yeah, I see the blood. I see the blood on these wolves or dogs or whatever they be. Nice. I wasn't sure if that attack would hit it, so I'm pretty stoked that it did. Speaking of blood, is that those some bloody roses right there? It looks like. Why, yes, it is blood roses. All right, well. Time to find the cellar. Actually, first, before I do that, I'm going to walk around all the edges and try to make sure I take care of whatever doggy dogs are hanging around to make my life a living hell. Missed that one. Still missing that one. Seems like that double attack is actually pretty decent at these slimes. There we go. Yeah, actually that does pretty well. I'm usually pretty slow at killing the slimes because I use so much melee. And I think slimes are probably better attacked with anything else, but I'm just guessing because I don't ever use anything else. It's not like they're hard, they're just so slow to kill. Alright, how close are you to dying, some slime? Not close. Alright, then I'm just jumping in. I'm going into the cellar. Oh, it's a boss. Okay. Well. Sanguine Noble. Oh, so he's probably gonna be pretty simple then. I say probably when I really don't know, but I have a feeling that since I can stun lock him, it'll be a pretty simple one. Yeah. No, I actually don't know what sanguine means. I should probably look it up. That would probably help elaborate on things. Probably. Probably. Yeah, I was wondering if there'd be a boss in the cellar here, and hey, I guess there was. What were you guarding, though? A bloody Hellas. Cool stuff. Bloody Hellas. Let's see. Ominous piercing sword with a winding blade, carried by the noble servants of the Lord of Blood. Designed to bore into flesh, causing severe blood loss of the wound, the extracted blood trickles gracefully down the length of the blade. Okay. So I guess the Sanguine Noble was probably, I mean, it would make sense, a follower of the Lord of Blood. No surprises there. But yeah, I guess like I really could be using my steam more often in these cellars to take some of these guys out even easier. But then what's the fun in that? Hey, right? What's the fun in that? You look alive. Let's make you not. Was it feasting on the slime? It's kind of what it looked like. Well, that feels nice to feel like I knocked out another ruin, actually. Oh, that's right. There's like the giant slime here. Big Daddy Slime. With a bunch of baby slimes. I mean, I honestly don't know if there's like... The nice thing is since I'm stun locking it, it's not really doing much. I don't really know if there's anything underneath it, but I guess we'll find out, right? Are you sanguine? Thing-ween? Okay. Was there anything underneath the giant slime? It doesn't look like it. Thin beast bones. No, there was not. Golden rune 5. Okay. So, as far as I can tell, there's no reason to kill that unless you really want those thin beast bones, I guess. Yeah. Alright. Well, whatever. I guess I got some runes for it. And I'm a little closer to making sure I can level up. Level up. Level up. I just want to kill them all, just in case. I'm like, what if one of these holds a secret underneath? What if? I have to find out. And it was not the case. Alright, cool. So, now we can head into Mount Gelmir, which I'm just gonna kind of just graze into, basically, and then leave. Yeah. My only real plan was just to finish off this path, so I feel like the path is done. Wow, look at all these guys who are following that leader and died under his lead. This was your fault. I had to take you out for doing a poor job of leading. So many field... wow, I actually got a lot of runes for taking care of all these guys. Okay, is there even anything over here? I guess there's this. A golden rune 4. I did see what looked like an abandoned cart somewhere, so I'm going to go ahead and check that out. But I think that actually might be everything over here in these parts. Other than the abandoned cart, which I'll go take a look at right now. And I don't even think there's anything over here either. It's just I keep on seeing these groups of enemies and being like, maybe there's something by them, but I think there really isn't. Oh, perfumer, eh? You have the power of perfumes. I don't like that, so I'm gonna just take you down a notch. It's heretical to use perfume. Don't you know that? How dare you? Whoa, what's all this gold? What the? In that one specific area? That was interesting. Ah! Oh my god. The Pumpkinhead almost just got me there. Wow, that was fantastic. All right, Pumpkinhead. Thanks for that scare. Definitely what I was looking for. Okay, for real, let's look at this. Is there anything here? No, there isn't. There's some blood grease, but it's just a destroyed cart. Makes sense, because this is everyone who's, like, going to war with, it's like the start of the war area. The Golden Order versus the heretical Rykard. And look, let's be straight on. Rykard ain't good, alright? Just because I was saying that, the Golden Order isn't necessarily good, they're just essentially the ones who lead and are the winners. Whoa. He was holding a treasure chest. Golden Rune 10. Huh. I don't know if I've ever noticed that before, or seen one of those guys holding a treasure chest. Anyways, Rykard isn't good either. It's just, you know, the stuff that's presented is good because it's the reigning people, or the Golden Order. So that's what's presented as good and right, just by virtue of that alone. So, anyways, that's going to wrap me up as I reach this that I've already activated before, but now I can rest here and get another level up. Let's get some more strength. Yes. So, next episode, my plan, and I'll go ahead and just warp here to get it started, but my plan is to go down into that middle area. As I said before, I just wanted to make sure, essentially all this upper path now is taken care of as far as I'm aware, unless there's something I was missing. So my next path is going to be going down here, taking down things there, going into this dungeon that's right there, if I have time, and also like exploring this. But everything I can basically do in this region is going to be next episode. So thank you guys so much for joining the Windmill episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Later, guys. Peace.
Hey!